Michael,
Yep, let's
as
leave this one.
always, as always, it brings a smile to my face. As always, your boy had to put his foot in it, right? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. Do you need me to read the first quote? Or you
Yeah,
just want to
yeah.
get into it?
We can get into it, but go ahead for the people in case if they haven't heard it.
Okay.
Go ahead and read
Because
the quotes.
we do everything for the people, right? All right, so here we go.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So on his little HBO podcast, The Shop, whatever the fuck it's called, King James spoke out against Brittany Griner. Well, spoke for Brittany Griner.
For her, yeah.
Yes. But he spoke out against the situation. All right, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
So the exact quote was, the first quote, over 110 days, meaning she's been over there at that point for 110 days. Now we know it's been longer. I think it's like 180 something days, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how could she feel like America has her back? James said on his show. I would feel like, do I even want to go back to America? And this has, from her side, going back to what Joshua said, some of the comments that was made during the Trump regime, the things connect, okay? Because some people on the other side will make that connection, even based on what LeBron James said. Okay, so LeBron James caught some heat last week for those comments. Michael, how do you feel about the heat that LeBron may have caught from the right side of the?
So
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna speak from both sides here. So
Okay.
my first position is from Brittany Griner's side, and I can see that. Like I can see where it's like, damn, why would I even want to go back? I mean, let's think about it though. We're probably still even though things are as bad as they are over here, we're still probably the best spot for somebody to be in, right?
Mhm.
Dealing with a lot of, because a lot of the stuff that we have, granted, right now, a lot of problems we have are financial. Of course, with inflation, interest rates going up. These are, the things that we talk about, fairly often, and what's probably talked about the water cooler every day. Oh my gosh, I'm going broke, right?
Yep.
Everything else is used as distractions, right? So if you can see through the smoke on those situations, this is still a great place to live. But speaking from her position, she's an entertainer over here. And let's be real, technically an underpaid entertainer, right? So and not just that, but like when you become into that limelight, you know what I'm saying? Like you become almost controllable, right? So it's like I'm kind of giving up my life in a lot of positions for a professional athletic life, but I have to understand what it comes with. So if I'm sitting here and I'm like, hey, I'm busting my ass night in, night out, this, that, and the other, and y'all don't even care this much to even, publicize it, as little as it's been publicized, right? Like nobody cares now I know what I'm worth to everybody, right? So I can see where her feelings would be for that. And I think that's maybe where LeBron was coming from, because as an athlete, you're kind of you're in a position that's different than just an average human being, right? Does he deserve the heat? Everybody's going to say yes and no. He was just making a point. I think the backpedaling on the second portion of it was something that was unnecessary. He should have never did that. If you're going to say something, stick with it, right? And I think that's the position that we've been in with LeBron recently over the span of the past few years. Is there something that he'll say and then he'll backpedal it? No. Stick with what you're doing, bro. Like if this is how you feel, take your heat. You're bringing it upon yourself because you're never going to make 100% of everybody happy. Right. So, it's going to draw ratings. Of course, people are going to go and watch The Shop because of it, which The Shop isn't really even that bad of a show. It's fairly decent. It's just people around barbershop and in chairs sitting around talking like we're talking, but just from a different perspective, a high level perspective. But, shit. He made his point. He said what he said. You know, I mean, I don't necessarily have a bad feeling for what he said, but like I said, I just don't like the backpedaling portion of it. Which do you want to
Right.
read the second? Do you want to
I'm
read the
with you
second
on that.
vote?
I am. I want Joshua. Joshua's about to erupt. I want him to
Dark.
give
So
me his
like
piece.
I like LeBron, bro. Okay. So we all know why he backpedaled. We know exactly why he backpedaled. Every
Yes.
time LeBron talks politics, everybody from Fox News and the right side want to be like, shut up and dribble. Shut up and like just they gonna hate you every single time you open your mouth about everything else other than basketball. So just stick with it. They gonna hate you regardless. Like
Right.
Tucker Carlson's gonna. Oh, what if what am I gonna do? And Laura and all of them are gonna talk. That's what they do. They literally have nothing else to do other than react to what you say because you're LeBron. Say it, people are gonna follow you. Now, me personally, again, like I'm with you on the Britney deal as far as like feeling left out. I just don't think he should have back. He should just stop backpedaling on shit. That's just me personally.
Did you see that he is actually him and I think it's him and Maverick? They're actually trying to copyright "Shut Up and Dribble" and own it now.
That's good. I didn't see that.
Good.
Yeah, that was known from the past couple of days. And real quick, the last point that I was going to make, and this is kind of where I lost track for a second. If people are expecting Biden to go over and get Brittany Griner, right, or do what he can it's not going to happen. But look, this is to me now speaking from my perspective. You got who you wanted in office, right? Everybody emotionally voted. They got who they wanted, right?
Yeah.
So how can you even complain about what's happening now? Because there was writing on the wall that shit like this was going to happen. When I said I didn't vote because I don't vote for racists or pedophiles, right? And both of those guys are both of
the
those.
only options we had.
Believe it or not, Biden is a racist. Let's be real.
Man, dog, don't even. I spit in Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's face. They're good for nothing than putting black people behind bars. But that's a whole nother conversation that we not about to have.
But you can't expect a lot. You can't expect a lot, though. You know what I'm saying? You can't expect the world when that world's not even being presented to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was an emotional entry into the presidency. Let's be real. The whole situation was emotional.
I was called out just for not voting because I don't believe in voting for, like you said, someone that you don't believe in. And so I was, in some circles I've been around, I was like the bad guy for not voting at all because the other is looked at such an extreme that you're a bad guy for not voting against it. And I can't believe in that either. And so it was a really odd time for sure.
Yep.
And it continues to be an odd time. The next one's going to be even worse. I'm worried about these swings the other way, these extremes. So, like, we never come back in the middle. We just get farther and farther one way or the other. So this is getting so bad that I'm worried about what the answer is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to read LeBron's rebuttal. And then, Bryce, you let us know if you agree or disagree. So, a day or two after the media blew up, the right media blew up the LeBron James story, he dropped this on Twitter. My comments on the shop regarding Brittany Griner wasn't knocking our beautiful, beautiful country. I was simply saying how she was probably feeling emotionally along with so many other emotions, thoughts, etc. inside that cage she's been in for over 100+ days. Long story short, bring her home. Bryce, I will say all he had to say to begin with was just bring her home. And then none of this would have never happened. How do you feel about
that? I think, look, I always add in, like, I think there's a human element here. I'm not so hard on these guys outside of, like, Kevin Durant, you know what I mean? But, like, LeBron, like, has this urge or whatever feeling that he has to speak out, like he's the new MJ, right? And people wanted MJ to speak out more. You know, they want more out of their players, and then they complain when they actually talk. So the problem is, I don't know, who handles LeBron, or he comes up with all this shit on his own. But like, maybe he needs to like have someone read over his shit and then talk about it, because the whole like, you can have your opinion. I don't even disagree with your opinion, but like the way you present it and then the way you respond to the people that you know someone somewhere is going to have a problem. So it's just like, yeah, you don't have to retract it. You don't have to apologize. But he's just a human, man. He's just out there trying to get his ideas across. So I could see saying something and then wanting to justify it. I can understand that, but I'm not in his shoes. I'm not like the greatest player of a generation where everybody's looking at you. Yeah, I'm not that. So I can't. We can't sit here and pretend that we're just gonna handle every situation better. We can just be like, hey, in my eyes, he didn't have to do all that. Like you said, he could have just been like, bring her home. He could have just said what he did say and not responded back at all. You know,
Right.
but there's no right or wrong way to this. Like I said, with this, the things and the responsibilities that new athletes have to deal with, the social media aspect is a different ball game. So I'm never like too hard on any of these guys doing shit like that. It's, like he's not a political dude, and political people come out. The government, these officials, they come out and retract and restate shit. I mean, right in front of our eyes. I mean, Biden says one thing, and this like that, you know, twisted up in such a way that you don't even know what they're saying to begin with. So I'm not gonna come down on him the way other people are for like you know changing your stance, but I just think that he needs to like kind of talk with his own people more and maybe not be so quick to get out there, you know, despite some people wanting you to speak up on it. Like you don't have to on everything, but I'm not gonna beat down on him for it.
No, he don't have to.